CHEK Podcasts.
Well, we're running for it again. And who is in the room? Who stopped running this morning?
Sasha Prawn here.
Wow, Sasha.
For Run For It.
I'm so glad you remembered your name.
Thank you so much.
Obviously, Mariah Kelly here again.
And Rob Reed from Frontrunners. And, I did something this morning I haven't done for a number of years. I went to Mount Doug to run there. Buster in tow, therapy dog. And we had a great run, and I haven't been there for so long. And it used to be my weekly place to be. It's great trees, great trails, and, it's just you let your mind wander. And it's a great place where I've come up with great ideas, and that's the great thing about running, sort of thing. And Mariah, you were away last week, I believe.
Yes, I was in Mexico getting a lot of sun, but no color.
You don't look tan at all. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
you
I
always
don't.
have that healthy glow. So.
Yeah, Rob and I are similar in the way that we go just different shades of red. No, we never get brown.
Right.
Just different.
So were you
shades of
running
red.
on a beach at all?
Yeah, running on the beach is not the most fun. It's kind of reminds me of being a boxer for some reason. Maybe it was all the Rocky Balboa scenes on the beach.
Right. Isn't it not good to run on the sand too?
I'll tell you everything.
Good exercise. Good exercise for your feet, right?
Everything in moderation.
Fairly minimalistic running with your feet.
Tequila helps.
Not so bad. Okay, well we won't cover that off. Well, Sasha, you're getting serious about some training, I hear.
Oh yeah, that's right. The triathlon season has officially started, Oceanside.
Okay.
And so it's cool to see all the excitement around that. So I've been training a little extra hard this week and the next couple weeks to prepare myself for my first race in May.
Exciting.
I was walking down, Fort Street yesterday, and I had to go and visit my friends at Russell Books. And I picked up a book that I've already read, but I wanted to gift it to Sasha today, called Spirit Run. And it's a group of people that ran 6,000 miles through North America's stolen land. And it's got a really neat Indigenous theme to it, as they were all Indigenous athletes. And I thought it's a really great book. So I want to pass that on to you, Sasha. We'll be doing an episode on favorite books. And whether you read it on an iPad or wherever you read them, but some of us like hard copy, and so we'll get into that in another episode and have some booksellers on to tell us.
I guess I better start reading. Hey,
you always should be reading. Yeah, when you're sitting, if you're ever sitting down,
you can always listen to it on Audible, in case you can't read.
That's true. Yeah.
Now, Mariah, you're really busy with organizing many events in our city.
Yeah.
Like this TC10K at the end of the month.
Yeah, that's a big race coming up for lots of our island runners and walkers, and it's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. And we have a lot of registered participants this year.
Right. So you've got people registering, and then you've got clinics that you've been putting on to get people prepared for the 10K distance?
Yeah. We've been doing 14-week training clinics, so it's coming to the tail end of that now. They're in their last hard training week this week, and we will do a time trial next week.
Ooh, time trial.
Yeah, exciting stuff.
Now, it's interesting. Do you have the demographic breakdown? I mean, there's a lot of people that participate, and we end up getting a lot of people going out for a walk that day too, right? So is it almost like a 50-50 split, walkers to runners in the event?
Actually, I would say for the most part, we have run walkers. That's the bulk of our group. Yeah, we've got walkers, run walkers, a little bit more advanced run walkers, and then what we call run and run fast. So those are our runners, different tier runners, yeah.
And do people start in their different pace groups sort of thing, just so they don't get run over if they're walking slower?
Yeah. Well, actually, how we do it is we have clinic coordinators for each location, and then those clinic coordinators act as the coach for that location, and then they help people figure out kind of which group they should be in, and then we have leaders that help lead the groups.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
Yeah, it's great, great community. Yeah.
And this program's been going on for a while. They've been building up to the 10K for how many weeks now?
14. Well, almost 14. It'll be 14 at the end of it. We're in week 11.
11
yes,
going
11,
on? Okay.
Yes.
And then so they'll do their time trial, and then they'll do
taper week.
Exactly. That's what I was going to. You let them have a taper. That's what I was going to ask.
I do. I'm
That's
not
very
a Nazi.
big of you. Okay.
Yeah.
Not the running coaching, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, there you go. All right, good stuff. So, when I sit on the marathon board for the Victoria Marathon, which you're getting involved in as well. And, over the years, we look at people, the participants and the demographics, and females rule the rule the majority. I was out for coffee yesterday with a past race director from the New York City Marathon. And we're very fortunate being in Victoria that people can't help but come here. He comes here to visit his son that teaches at the university, but he loves being here, and he runs with our run clinics out of the store, etc. But Norm was on the board of the New York City Marathon, and which takes me back to how the demographics have shifted from the old days. That's my word, old, because I'm old anyway. And when I started, it was a different ballpark. It was a different playing field. And Norm and I are good friends of one of the first women that ever ran a marathon unofficially, Catherine Switzer. And Catherine entered out under K. Switzer and decided she was going to run the Boston Marathon. And she ended up having her boyfriend, who was a rugby player, run beside her for part of it, which was a good idea, because when the race director of the Boston Marathon saw this female running, he tried to get off the truck, the press truck, and push her off the road. And that's when her boyfriend, being the rugby player he was able to, sort of sideline that race director and knock him in the ditch. So Catherine finished the marathon that year. And we have a guest here today. I'm not saying that you're being knocked in a ditch or you've run Boston yet, but you've worked your way through the distance, and basically running being all-inclusive, and it's ridiculous how we're finally opening the door to everyone, no matter, where they're coming from, with every sport. And we're looking at pay equity and all kinds of things that, are way behind the time and getting fixed. But, women basically, thank goodness, rule the roost when it comes to a lot of these activities. So I'm going to just hand it over to you, Mariah, to introduce a guest today.
Yeah, so I've invited one of our RunSport clinic coordinators, Tracy McGlade, who is a runner herself and a mother. And actually, currently, Tracy and I have dual roles. She's working with me as a clinic coordinator, but we're also coach-athlete relationship, because I'm helping her train for the marathon. Okay. So we've been working through some workouts. They've been some awesome workouts. It's been pretty fun watching her crush it on the road.
Sounds like work, Sasha.
No, it's been fun. It's been fun.
Yeah, it has. Yeah,
well, welcome, Tracy.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
When did you start deciding running would be something that you could do? And was this before you decided to increase the number of people that live in your home by having children?
Yeah. I've probably been running long distance for 12 years.
Oh, okay.
But I have run more races post kids.
Yeah.
Pre.
Oh, really? Eh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think it's more just to get out and run for my sanity and my alone time. I've run with my babies before, but I prefer alone or with other runners.
Right.
Yeah.
So did you get into running before you had kids, and
I
what
did.
got you into running, for instance, as a sport?
Maybe 3 years or 4 years before I had my first. I did the Victoria half was my first.
Right.
And then I dove right into the marathon after that and went for the Eugene Marathon. And then
fantastic.
I was hooked. I just kept going. And
you picked up that addiction.
I did.
And you just set your new PR last year.
I did, yeah.
At the Victoria Marathon?
I sure did, yeah. I was very happy, after my third. And, I'm in my 40s, and I ran, I was very happy with how I executed it. And
Can't remember my 40s.
Yeah.
The Run For It podcast is proudly presented by Frontrunners. With 3 locations in Victoria and 35 years of business, Frontrunners is proud to be your everyday run, walk, and movement store.
You're still showing improvement, which is really impressive.
I think so,
right?
actually.
The other day, we did a 6-mile progression tempo, and she basically was on track to break. I think you did almost break your 8K best in that tempo.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a great tempo. Very relaxed. We were both just like, I don't know if this pace should feel this easy.
I think she was more relaxed than me. But
Well, and I think about women and participating. We used to have a running moms group at the store. And they'd all show up with their baby joggers.
Yeah.
And even as a father, I guess we can throw a father story in, but I remember running in an 8K race and winning the race, pushing my son in the baby stroller, and it was a pretty good time. But my whole panic during that race was that he had one of his stuffies with him, and I said, do not drop that stuffy. I don't want to have to stop, right? But and you get a little embarrassed passing people with a stroller. 'Cause that shouldn't be happening. But did you run with?
I've never raced in a stroller.
No, but did you run? Did you go out for runs with the kids, or was that was your me time? Or
tons. I've had the same running stroller for like 9 years. My son.
Oh, okay.
You know, I've had doubles. I've had where like one's riding their bike, I'm pushing a double, or she's riding a bike, I got the single. I have 3 kids, obviously, and then you know, now it's getting heavy, so I prefer just to go by myself. And
right. Yeah.
I guess to a point.
So, I mean, you said about the time, and it's like, you know, you can tell we've got a marathoner here in the room, is that as you're running, I mean, your times per mile, like when you're training, you get faster. It's like running around Cedar Hill Golf Course, which is one of the best runs to do in the city, other than Mount Doug as well, is that, you know, used to do loops around there on easy days, but you know, one loop would be a certain time, and then your second loop would be even faster, and then you could do that if you're training for marathon, you know, getting stronger as you get into the distance. It's like for a lot of you marathoners, it's like 5K. Why would I get changed to go do a 5K, right?
I know.
Where, you know, some of us seniors, it's like, whoa, that's my major workout for the day sort of thing. So did you go from like a shorter distance building to marathon, or did you go from like some of us 0 to I'm going to do a marathon?
I did like the half, so 0 to half, and then I did half to full.
Okay.
I didn't run a 10K race. Well, I did like a fun one when I was pregnant with my second in 2015, a fun like 10K. But I just ran the TC10K for the first time last year.
Oh, okay.
So that was my shortest, because I've always just done, and I've done more fulls than half. I just kind of dove right into the full.
Wow. Okay.
And I just kind of tie them into going on vacation, and then just be like, let's go here because there's a race, and then we can bring people.
Now, you've got family history, and we talk about, you know, genetics and choosing your parents wisely, but you've got some family genetics as far as fitness goes.
I have a couple runners that have inspired me in my life. Yeah, for sure. My aunt and uncle. My aunt's a huge marathon runner.
Right.
I think she's at her 32nd, 33rd marathon.
Okay.
So they were for sure the drive to have me try it out. And then I think we've done probably most of our marathons together. We would just all travel together and do them.
Wow.
And
it's
fun. Yeah.
So where have you been that's been interesting? I mean, you've gone to Oregon and done Eugene, which is sort of the birthplace of the running movement over the years.
Yeah. I've done New York. I've done Nike San Fran. I've done Chicago twice, DC, and Vancouver.
Oh, okay.
There. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And she's about to do San Diego.
Yeah, San Diego's
that's
in June.
right.
San Diego.
Yeah.
San Diego. Yeah.
So which one was your favorite out of all those?
Okay, I always have Eugene as my first because it was my first. It was like the best. It was a nice crowd support and smaller run. So that's like my first love is there. But then Chicago would be the second. I've done that one twice, and I love the city. I've been there so many times. It's clean, and the crowd support the whole way through, and it's just a fun race to be. So
pardon me. Did you want to say anything about Victoria Marathon?
This is a community podcast. We're supposed to be fronting community events.
Victoria for sure, because I got my Boston qualifying and my PR there.
Oh, there. Okay, that's all you had to say.
And I actually gave you a high five at the end.
Rob's always there, ready for the high fives or to pick people up.
I was like, yes.
Yeah, Rob actually caught me after my first marathon.
Oh, really?
Year.
Yeah, there you go.
He went from teaching him how to walk to teaching him how to read.
So similar story. I started with a half.
Okay, yeah.
2021, and then I did the RVM the next year running.
Yeah.
And then I did a vacation marathon in Hawaii.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
destination marathon.
There.
Yeah.
Those can be the best
Racecation.
kind.
Yeah.
That must have been hot.
It was very hot. Yeah. I just died at 128. I was done.
I told
But they
Tracy,
start at 5 a.m. Don't
They start at 5, but it's still really hot.
I
I noticed that
sorry.
you go in miles on your Instagram. So you use miles to translate to go to your destination American runs.
Yeah. I've actually done more in America
Yeah.
than in Canada. I've only done 2 in Canada. And I tried so hard when I started to do the TC10K clinics to transfer back to 10K or to kilometers. But I couldn't do it. I'm so used to seeing the numbers. So when her and Mariah and I write like on my like worksheet or my, run log, I guess, what we're doing. She writes in kilometers and I write in miles. And I'm like,
even when we're in the workout, well, she'll be talking to me in miles. I'll be talking to her in kilometers. This is the translation. It's like we're talking code.
Well, some of us are old school, so we can relate to that, right?
Yeah.
And if you are participating south of our border, then, you know.
The Run For It podcast is proudly presented by Front Runners. With 3 locations in Victoria and 35 years of business, Front Runners is proud to be your everyday run, walk, and movement store.
I want to know about balance. Like, how do you balance stuff? I've got 3 grandkids in Calgary, and I don't know how my son Jeremy and Briar, you know, get out there for all their runs that they do, because they're both competing as well or running a lot of distance. How do you hire husbands, or how's that work?
I wish, I get up first thing, like I'm up at like probably 5:30, 5:15.
Okay.
And I try and do all my running like during the week before my kids. So I have to be home at 7:30.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you walk in, they're all 2 of school age, 1's preschool. And then as soon as you walk in the door at 7:30, I mean, Mariah's been there once.
Yeah.
And it's, there's no recovery drinks.
How old are the kids? How old are the kids?
1 will be 9 real soon.
Okay.
And then 7 and 3.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I can relate.
So I'm in
the same as my grandkids, same age.
Of it. Yeah.
Wow. So and I used to say, you know, I get my run down in the morning before I wake up, and so that's the same situation.
Yeah, and I just kind of been used to just getting up, and then my husband, you know, he kind of gets up with them.
Yeah.
And as long as I'm home by 7:30.
Oh,
weekends are different, right? I get a little bit longer for the long runs.
Yeah. Now, do you have a run that you do every day, the same route, the same area, or do you mix it up? Obviously, you've got some training happening too.
Yeah.
With Mariah.
I have a couple areas. I just like to run from my home though, for time wise.
Yeah. Right.
So I'm always along the water, and then so not necessarily the same runs, but I know many different areas in Victoria and how far I am from my home.
Right.
So I never really plan a route. I'll just be like,
I see.
just run. And
Wow,
then I know that I'm 3 miles. Like I'll say to Mariah, like, we're 3 miles from here now from my home. So I just know so many different areas.
So you just intuitively go, I'm going to turn here and go turn there. Oh, that's really interesting.
I find it extra work to have to plan my run, like my route, right? Like to plan that out.
Yeah, because I know, you know, for some of us, we would get used to doing a certain route.
Yeah.
Every Tuesday I do this route, every Wednesday, you know, that sort of thing, right?
Yeah. I like to mix it up.
Oh,
yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
It keeps it fresh.
It does. Yeah.
So, and obviously you probably buy lots of shoes from our sponsor. Do you rotate like a couple pair, because you're doing a lot of miles and runs?
I do.
Like,
I have 2 pairs.
2 pairs that you rotate,
and I have a 3rd one coming.
Oh, okay, that's good. Okay,
Yeah.
I should have brought it with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's good. Yeah. And so, and as far as you eat when you get home.
I eat before I go too.
Yeah.
Like I just eat something, and then I try and eat.
What do you eat before you go then?
It can be
that early in the morning.
Yeah, I just have like a banana and some nuts, or like I make these like breakfast cookies.
Right. Nice.
I think I have a really fast digestive system, because I can like run within a half an hour of eating and not have a problem.
So a high basal metabolic rate. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I just try and cram some food in before we have to like.
You got to get the kids to school when you get home. Sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So not always ideal recovery, eating and drinking, but I make it work.
Now tell me you're not working full time.
Not full time.
Okay.
Yeah, part time.
Part time. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that works out well then, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the husband goes off to the salt mines, and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a sports physio. Yeah.
Oh my. Okay,
That's
there you
perfect.
go. No wonder. So, wow.
So I
does he
save my
feel-
time and appointments by getting physio at night at home.
So does he have a complex about the fact that that's why he's your husband?
We met before he was a physio.
But she knew he was going to become one, so it was a double bang for her.
I like
Okay.
guided
It's an
him.
investment,
No,
that's for sure.
Yeah.
he was like, I think I want to do this. I'm like, no, I think you want to do this.
Right. Yeah. You might want to move in, Sasha. You like to go to
Yeah,
physio.
I know.
That's great. So your goal
room for
coming
it?
up
Yeah.
is what's going to happen.
I like to, I hate to like put so
predict.
much pressure on myself,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But I do feel like I have another PR in me.
Okay.
I
At what
actually-
distance?
At the marathon.
At the marathon.
Yeah, maybe
Okay.
even the 10K. I think the 10K I could do as well. Yeah.
Yeah. And are you enjoying imparting some of your knowledge on some of the people coming up in the
Oh,
clinics and
absolutely.
that?
Yeah. Like I started last year doing it at the clinics, and it's like I don't know. You just get a group of people. There's so much information. There's so much wealth of knowledge, and everybody has different ideas. And I'm learning as well.
Right.
Being around, like even just with meeting Mariah, but then the other run leaders, and then it's just like, so I'm actually learning probably just as much as them, but like different things. So yeah, I
Other than
appreciate-
Mariah, I mean, is there somebody there that's inspired you?
Well, you probably know Mike Kennedy.
Of course.
Yeah.
I was talking on the phone.
Yeah, so he actually ran the last 10K of the Royal Victoria Marathon with me.
Oh, good.
I brought him in as get out of my thoughts and, just get my mind out of the hole in
Right.
the last 10K. So he likes to share stories.
Yeah. So stories are a big part, and then having that mentorship. And,
Yeah, for sure.
And you've got a coach, which is pretty phenomenal.
we started together, so
all
it's great.
that, yeah.
I'm enjoying it for sure.
And the kids sleep at night periodically, so
yeah,
that
they're
helps.
really good sleepers now.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
we're past, unless they're sick. But
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Well, we're all going to be watching for you out there.
Oh,
and,
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you've got another Eugene happening at some point?
I would like to go
Or
back.
somewhere?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
no.
was going to go back this year, but then we're going to go to San Diego.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we've never been, and we're not taking the kids.
Right, there
That
you
would
go.
be so nice.
Wine tasting after the race.
Yeah, I could actually not parent after a race. It's great.
So, Mariah, you're going to let Tracy taper a bit coming up?
No, not yet.
No?
No, we got another big block. Her races until May.
June.
Just sorry, June.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said May.
Oh, okay.
Because we were gonna do it like a pre-race to her race, kind of like we're doing for the TC10K, a little time trial. So we might do an event in May to prepare
Right.
prior to the taper.
I would like to ask one question while we were talking about leadership.
Yep.
And so, Tracy, as a leader, as a woman leader in Victoria, I've been asked this question recently too.
Okay.
What is leadership and how do you choose to lead?
I think it's just staying positive and encouraging and being a great role model for people and seeing that it's also okay to fail. Like that's how you learn, and that it's okay to make mistakes and not to be so hard on ourselves.
I think that's a great way to leave it.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Yeah, here we are.
Well, I'm going to go out and run.
It.
Thanks for being here,
Thank you,
everybody.
Tracy.
Thanks,
Thanks for
Tracy.
having
Have a
me.
great one.
Thank
Thank you so much.
The Run For It podcast is proudly presented by Front Runners. With 3 locations in Victoria and 35 years of business, Front Runners is proud to be your everyday run, walk, and movement store.